welcome to Mind Your Business, a channel where we are in everybody's business. If you don't mind getting in people's business, you're on the right channel. Talking about current topics and gossip.
Now, I say this quite often, but Gizelle is just so bad mind. Like, who is she to be pulling Karen and trying to check Karen? I'm so glad Karen checked her back. Let's talk about it. Well, Gone my crazy crew. Let's talk about Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, I'm not going to do my usual recap of going off all the scenes. I'm just going to pick up on some of the key points. Like, I absolutely love that Wendy and Candice went to the ladies to check them and talking about them. Because how are you sitting there bitching about, you know, how they treated your daughter and all this kind of stuff and how they are making faces about your daughter, which wasn't even the case. And when Wendy's comes to ask you, everybody's on mute and not knowing what to say, looking all awkward. I'm so glad that she kind of pushed it and was like, no, what was being said? So I'm so glad that she was able to kind of shoot down the nonsense and just say, well, actually, they were smirking. That was between them. It was nothing to do with her child. You know, Candice made it clear that she has nothing against her kids. She just doesn't like Gizelle. And Wendy shared that she felt targeted before when when Gizelle came for her for apparently looking at her daughter in a weird way, which if you look at the camera, which they kind of rolled back, the flashback, it didn't actually looking at her in any type of way. So I understand where Wendy's coming from by saying she just doesn't want to, you know, really engage with Gizelle. Also, I just think it was just a bit of bullshit because honestly, Gizelle and Robin pull faces with each other all the damn time. So I'm glad that Candice and Wendy just shut that down immediately because what is this nonsense you're talking about? When they were at the dinner party for Ashley's birthday theme, it's Havana night, it cracked me up. Why is Candice always got me cracking up with her confessionals? Because she's basically saying that Ashley looks like a $2 hoe. Why am I getting flashes of Jocelyn? Because Jocelyn from, you know, Jocelyn's Cabaret and Jocelyn from Love and Hip Hop, because she's always calling somebody a $2 hoe. So that's what it made me even laugh even more. I was like, Lord. I thought it was interesting because Karen tried to bring up the whole, you know, friction between Candice and Robin and just saying, you know, do you feel like they can move things forward? Robin feels like she's been hard done by Candice, and obviously Candice thinks she's playing the victim. So they both just have to stay cordial. So I was just like, yeah, just leave it there because we've you know, beat this subject to a pulp at this point, and Robin won't take any accountability for what she's done in that situation. Because she keeps saying that, oh, well, you know, she didn't do anything wrong. But you hiding what was happening with your husband was something that you did wrong. Because somebody else's husband was under fire for no reason whatsoever, apart from your friend deciding to be evil and targeted them. So, you know, if you stood on it a bit more firmly and said, you know what, yes, my stuff was private. Even though I've told everybody else that they should share their stuff on camera, they'd be different. But also, I found it really interesting that she's got this standard of being a friend and she seems to have very short memory of things that she's also done to Candice. Like, wasn't it last season that she took out the big speaker and she put on blast what Candice said on live on her IG when she was upset about what was going on? And that was in front of the whole group. She's done a lot of questionable things that I feel like she has definitely goldfish memory because, you know, it's very selective. Anyway, the bit that really irks me in this episode, to be fair, people, was Gizelle pulling Karen aside to complain that, you know, she's different when she's around Wendy and Candice. And basically, you know, she feels like she should take her side and she feels like, you know, when kids are involved, you know, kids should be off limits. No one spoke on your child apart from you. In fact, if I recall correctly, Candice was like, oh yeah, congratulations. She congratulated her on, you know, going off to her university. Her long neck is really searching for a storyline at this point because there is none. And I was so glad that Karen really put her in her place. Because, you know, Karen let it be known that she doesn't take sides. And she's always been that way. And I love that about Karen. And she basically let her know that, you know what, you have your own mouth. You need to use your own mouth instead of sitting there being mute. Because I felt like she's trying to gaslight Karen, trying to make her feel bad. I was like, yes, Karen, flip it back on her because she sat there with her mouth clamped up like something's wrong with her, or her mouth stinks so bad she can't open it. And she could have easily said her own piece, but she doesn't want to. She wants other people to fight her battles for her. I think it's because she knows that she can't really deal with Candice or Wendy because they will tear her apart lyrically. Simple. But I just felt like, why are you trying to come for Karen? Karen's always been like, you know, she's in the middle. She's made that quite clear. She's happy to be cool with everybody else. But Karen also holds people accountable, so she will pull you on certain things. I found it funny that Giselle's trying to pull her. I'm like, Gizelle, grow up. As a viewer of the show, I don't personally feel like she switches energy. I just feel like, she holds people accountable. Gizelle needs to grow up. No one mentioned her kids. She mentioned her kids, and this is the storyline she's running with. I don't understand. Where's her man? Where's other things going on in her life? Like, what is going on with her? She's just annoying. And then trying to compare herself to the whole Brandy and Monica, saying that she's the Brandy. I just like, oh, please, woman, just sit down. I feel like Gizelle has a side that can be fun, but she's too busy being miserable. I thought it was interesting when the ladies had lunch a bit. I think it was the following day. And Karen mentioned that she's got her new trainer, this Vernon guy, and Ashley apparently knows him as well and has been flirting with him, based on how she was acting and what she actually said. Anyway, I thought it was interesting that Karen brought up what Gizelle said about her being different in front of the others. Mia was quick to agree, but Mia's quick to be under Giselle's ass, so that didn't surprise me. When Kiana asked Robin, rightfully said that, she doesn't really have an opinion because, she has zero expectations of Karen, and I love that. Karen was like, yes, it's quite reciprocal. I have no expectations for you. That made me laugh. But I do feel like what Wendy and Candice said was true. I felt like Karen comes across quite fun, but I do feel like she will hold people accountable, whether it's, Gizelle, Robin, Mia, Candice or Wendy. I like any of them. I feel like she will hold them accountable, and that's what they don't like. I thought it was interesting and not surprising that Kiana mentioned that, there's obviously a disconnect. She brought up Gizelle and Candice. Obviously, Candice shut her down quite quickly. But then I thought it was interesting when they explained that, they were all cool before that. So hence why it is a bit more of a touchy situation and why it's a bit more volatile. I thought it was interesting. I think the only thing that Gizelle said there was no, that she's not friends with Wendy. That was the only thing that I seemed to have heard out of her when that subject came up. But obviously, Kiana's not blind. She can see what's happening out here. We can all see what's happening out here, and it does look weird and feel weird as a viewer. Anyway, Robin then splits them up for activities. So, you've got one group goes off to do tennis and the other one's doing some sort of shooting. Now, I thought it was interesting that they put Kiana with, Ashley, Gizelle, Nneka and Robin. So that crew, essentially. Now, of course, Robin has been messy. Because Robin was asking Kiana, so you're Wendy's friend, basically. So essentially, she's trying to find out, has Wendy been in her ear talking crap about them? And I love that Kiana was very straight to the point and just said, well, no. She hasn't. The only thing that, was more of a pressing issue was just for her was the whole Nneka situation from the cultural point of view, from the cultural impact of that. And Nneka, to me, just made herself look very stupid. Because rather than her just be like, take on board what Kiana was saying, she's becoming defensive to me, just being rude, talking about stirring pots and all this kind of crap. I love that Kiana just kind of shut her down with, listen, your pots are basically overdone. What kind of rubbish is she talking? So I feel like Kiana handled herself well. And I'm like, Kiana, you should have been on the show from before. Switch her out for Nneka, because what's going on? I like her energy. Like, I feel like Kiana can handle herself. And she clocked that both Gizelle and Robin were being messy with their line of questioning. Because, of course, Gizelle was trying to also add in and say, well, I feel like, Nneka's the one that's been hard done by. But I just love that Kiana was, Nneka did wrong, basically, and didn't really come and apologise properly. So that's why Nneka got her back up. But if Nneka was a grown woman, she should be able to say, you know what, I did come at her wrong. I will own that. I also came for her mother. So that takes it to a different level. But I feel like Kiana definitely handles herself well. So I like to see that. She handled herself very well with them. And she definitely clocked onto them, their little foolishness that they were trying there. Like, they were trying to set her up to see if she would say, oh, yeah, Wendy said this or Wendy said that. But no, Wendy doesn't seem like the person that would try and plant seeds like that. I feel like she would let you form your own opinion. But anyway, the others were playing tennis. So that's like Mia and Candice, Karen, Wendy. Now, Mia is hilarious because she started talking about one thing. First, she started talking about her foot and how, people with foot fetishes, and how when she used to strip, she used to put her foot in certain man's chest because that's what they wanted. So I'm just like, okay. Wendy's calling her Socrates. I'm just like, please, I call her Jackanory over here because she's full of story. Jackanory, full of story. Anyway, Mia then brings up Ashley's divorce and says, what they think about the divorce. I think, Karen obviously was straight up saying, she's pro-marriage, basically. She's rooting for marriage. Mia made it quite clear that she feels like Ashley is a gold digger. I mean, I thought it was interesting because Mia, makes it seem like she's well in with Gizelle and with Robin and with Ashley. That seems like that's her crew that she's gravitated to, even though Karen brought her in and she was really with Karen initially. So I thought it was funny because I was thinking, hold on, you're going to go and speak to these guys about Ashley. Was you trying to be messy on purpose? Probably, because Mia is an interesting character. I do think she's good TV, but I don't think she got the response that she was hoping for. You know, Candice was saying, well, don't forget she's got trauma issues, daddy issues, so that could have an impact on, you know, how she perceives a divorce and maybe not wanting to let go and feel abandoned again. You know, as far as Mia's concerned, it's about the money. I feel like Wendy was also kind of giving her grace of saying, you know, she's just not ready yet. She's just not ready to go through with it yet. So I felt like all the others were quite giving her grace. It was Mia that was throwing the most shade. Because she definitely was quite open about when she had the divorce and how she took her child and got in the car and drove off into the sunset. So she doesn't see it the same way. Now, what I did think was quite a sad moment was Ashley trying to FaceTime her kids and Michael cutting off the camera because he doesn't want to be on camera for the show. But I'm like, well, put your kids on because that's who she wants to see, the kids. But then when she said, oh, he says that he doesn't want to be anywhere on camera and if he is, he will sue, including her. I said, Lord God, this must be because of the whole not winning his court case against Candice and realising that he signed certain things. So try again. That just made me laugh. But I felt bad for Ashley because, you know, she wants to see her kids. And I was just like, just let her see her kids. Don't be such a dickhead. Just stay at the camera, innit? Anyway. She also mentioned that he's a big part of her life still. So I was like, Ashley, you don't want to get divorced. Anyway, obviously on the last night they went for dinner. You know, these ladies are always going for dinner. And I think it was Neka that asked how was tennis. And I kind of like the way Candice and Wendy kind of lined it up. Because you got Candice saying, well, yeah, it was really good. We discussed Ashley's divorce. And then you got Wendy coming in and talking about, yes. And, you know, Mia shared some of her thoughts. And she said that she thinks you're a gold digger. I think that's what her exact words. And I love the fact that Mia was like, yep, I did say that. I was like, stand on your business, Mia. Do what you got to do. Well, she let her know what she thought about that. As she throws her back at the question at Mia, of course, did you marry him for Gordon for money? And Mia's just like, well, maybe I did. Might have, whatever. Like, I like that Mia will own the bullshit. So I like that bit about her. But I thought it was interesting because in confessionals, Ashley chatting about, yeah, you know, she's jealous of me, you know, because she got fool's gold and I got the real deal. And it's like, you're getting divorced, love. So have you really got the real deal or are you not really getting divorced? Also, why didn't you say that to her face? Because I'm pretty sure you could have done. What was stopping you from saying it to her face? But I did notice that conversation got moved on pretty quickly, which I thought was interesting because I feel like if it was Candice or if it was Wendy that had said that, or even Karen had said that, I felt like they would have been going in on them. But because it was Mia, I felt like they kind of, you know, quickly moved it on. Now, Gizelle bringing up Vernon again, you know, and Robin asking, you know, Karen why she has him because he's not a trainer, was just messy. And then also being messy about her health. I don't think that's very funny. Talk about, you know, are you fit or do you have a heart problem? Like, no, don't be funny, bitch. Don't do that. No, she was out of order. I didn't like that. Karen obviously was giving her run for money. You know, Karen has definitely got lyrics, so she was pushing right back on her and talking about, you know, she's getting him to work on her inner thighs and she's doing what she's got to do. No one should be worrying about what trainer she's got. You go and sort your own life out and worry about what one's doing. That's what she needs to do because she's in everybody else's business, but it seems to be with her man. But anyway, I felt like that was kind of the episode. That was just my quick little recap of the things that kind of annoyed me throughout the episode. But I do feel like Mia is definitely needed in this show. I think it's interesting that Gizelle has lost her seat in terms of for the reunion. Her placing, which is usually next to Andy, always has been since season 1, which I've been watching since season 1. But she has been booted off by Mia. That's because Mia is bringing some juice. Mia is also interacting with other people. Mia's being a grown-up. Giselle's acting like a child, doesn't want to talk to, you know, Candice or Wendy or just be civil. There's no real beef with you and Wendy. I don't understand what that's all about. You and Candice, we know you lied on her husband. So that's what that's about. But, you know, if you're going to be a part of a show, you all have to put in the damn work. I'm fed up seeing these shows and everyone's just a damn mess. It's like, it can't work. It looks really terrible for the viewer's perspective. Like, everybody just needs to fix the backside up. Like, what is that? What is going on? What is going on? As always, I'm always championing for Karen and for Wendy and for Candice at this point because, like, seriously, Mia, I think she's entertaining too. So, like, I like seeing her on the show too. Next week, we'll see what happens. Apparently, you know, Charisse is doing some sort of event, so we know Karen won't be there. But it looks like she's really having a meltdown moment, shouting at Robin. I'm like, I can only assume this is doing something to do with Candice and Robin or something. I don't know. But we don't hardly see Charisse anyway. Now we're seeing her. She's looking like she's about to blow a gasket. But anyway, people, what do you think of the episode? What do you think of the season at the moment? Do you feel like the seating plan change is an indication that the networks are letting Gizelle know, fix up if you want your chair back? Or do you think that it's an indication that she might not be coming back? I'm not entirely sure yet. I reckon they'll still keep her around, but it'd be good if they shook it up and maybe got rid of her for a season. Let her take a break and maybe go find a storyline. I feel like Robin will behave better without her there and will be more, friendly. But I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting time anyway. But anyway, of course, I have to see what social media was saying. So here are some tweets that made me giggle. Anyway, people, what did you think of the show? Let me know your thoughts below.
Yes, so thanks for watching that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and hit that notification bell so you know when I am uploading some more of people's business. So until then, my nosy people, stay blessed.